All right, Drew. So, I mean, it's been a little bit since we had a long conversation. And I just have to fill you in on what I've been up to in the gaming space lately, right? So,
Fill me up with knowledge.
I haven't been playing a whole lot lately, but Spider-Man 2 released over the past couple of weeks.
Now that's what was Venom in it, right?
Yeah. And you saw me play through all of Spider-Man 1. You saw me play through Miles Morales multiple times while we were together. And
Sexually.
now I've been making my way through bits and pieces of Spider-Man 2 when I can. I'm probably like 5 hours in right now. And man, it's everything I wanted. It's like slightly better Spider-Man 1.
Now, Spider-Man was solid, besides the things that definitely didn't make sense, like you're knocking people out and they didn't scream for like a whole 3 seconds.
Oh my god! So that is still one of the things that bothers me. Where like you web someone up stealthily and he doesn't web them in the mouth immediately, and they don't grunt, they don't move. They just allow you to web them up in a cocoon.
Oh, I'm getting knocked out here. I'm just not gonna do anything about it.
Like every time I watch that animation, I like laugh a little bit because I'm like, that doesn't make any. Like he gets webbed, pulled up into the air, and wrapped up in web, and he's just like, I guess this is my life now.
That was now in the last one, I believe the exact maneuver was you'd be like on a beam or something in the ceiling, right? You'd shoot the web down. I think you grabbed them maybe by the head or the chest.
It was usually like the back.
Oh, was it? Okay, so you were in the back. You pull them up, they would bang their head off the beam or something, right? They get knocked out, and you kind of like wrap them up a little bit like a spider. Is that the same kind of thing? Do you do it a little different?
So the thing that happened, I've only done like one stealth mission, but whenever you do it right now, I'm up there, I web them in the back, pull them up in the air, and then he wraps up their whole body, and their head like is one of the last things he wraps up with webs. And so it's very funny because he's wrapping them up with this, and I'm like, this whole time he hasn't made a noise. He lets me.
Not.
He just like if I got hit by I'm walking around base, right, and all of a sudden I get hit in the back by a spider web and pulled, I'd be like, holy shit! And at least make that much noise, but they don't make any noise the entire time.
At least like a huh or a help or something, anything, honestly. Even if it was kind of an embarrassing noise, like a scream, anything. Just come on, like save yourself, buddy. Maybe that would be kind of cool, honestly, if maybe sometimes when you did it, they yelled out and you had to like hide really quick. That might be kind of cool if there's a bit of a anti-stealth mechanic.
Or like, what if the first thing he did was like web their mouth? What if he used 2 webs instead of 1 and webbed their back and their face, and then pulled them up? But even then, you'd hear him go.
Do you think? Okay, so now we know Spider-Man. This is the Spider-Man episode, boys. So Spider-Man, right? His webs are super strong. It supports his body weight swinging building to building.
He stops cars with them.
I mean, I guess I didn't think about that. Do you think you could? How much noise do you think you could make through a spider web if he webs you right in the mouth, like you just covered?
You can still grunt.
Yeah, but how loud can you grunt? Can you grunt loud enough so like someone upstairs in the same building?
I'm gonna cover my mouth as hard as I can and try to grunt. Okay,
do it.
It would at least be this loud, right? Like.
Yeah. Okay. I would definitely be like, what's happening to Seth? It's just the wind, boys. It was nothing. God dang it.
Yeah, no. So the one that does make sense to me is, you saw the ones where like every time that you would, if I would web someone stealthily and it would instantly down them, you were like, that guy's dead. Like the way that he kicks them in the back of the head as his whole body weight goes over top of them. Because you still do that. You still whip yourself around like that if they're not seen by anybody. You can kill them instantly. But
execution.
Those ones are the ones that make sense. Where I'm like, oh yeah, I wouldn't make any noise. I'd be down instantly.
Oh my god. Can you still now in the last one? We shouldn't talk about Spider-Man anymore. But in the last one, you can throw people off buildings. You're not supposed to kill anybody, right? Like Spider-Man's whole thing is to kill anybody. But you could definitely get people to fall off the buildings. Remember that? Can you still do that? Yeah, but when people...
Yes, but in the last game and in this one, if you pay attention, I guess whenever he does knock people off buildings, he attaches a device to them because a web shoots out of them and they attach to the side of the building.
Oh, I'm glad they put the detail in those little things. That is... Cause I love the idea. It's like Spider-Man kills somebody and you just clip it from your video game.
Yeah, no, there are times when I'm like, oh, dude, there was a chance in one of the cutscenes I was like, Miles definitely just murdered somebody. He didn't do it wouldn't do it on purpose, but I was like, by the collateral damage of what Miles just did, someone's dead.
Well, see, Miles also has those, what do they call them? The Venom strikes now, the electrical punches.
Yeah.
Are we thinking it's like taser level? Because I feel like it would definitely be strong if it's because you can punch things in the game and take out like power grids and whatnot, like the surveillance system.
Someone's going into cardiac arrest from
That's
this shit.
They gotta be dying, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like we need to be thinking about this a little bit more, other than the. I mean, obviously falling off the building, you got to catch it with the webs. Makes perfect sense. But maybe there's some sort of explanation here. Maybe he can like vary the power of his venom punches. I don't know.
Yeah, so maybe he's not killing anyone, but I mean he's at the very least shortening their life by a few years.
Oh no, definitely. You're definitely not feeling good after this for a while. You might be hospitalized.
No. Like if you're telling me this guy punched the ground and a shockwave of electricity went out and knocked out me and all my friends, you're telling me I'm still living over 80 years? You're wrong.
Oh my gosh.
It's over.
Oh, I wanted to ask. We're talking about superheroes now. This is not the superhero episode. I promise everybody. We're gonna
Yes,
move past.
it
We're gonna move past this. Don't worry. So you were super into Invincible for a long time. I'm not sure if you still read them or if you've watched it.
I'm almost done. I'm like through. I have the second half of the third compendium to go through.
Okay, so Omni-Man, is he a part? He's a part of that series, correct? It's not a different thing.
Oh yeah, he is.
So we talked about this a little bit last week. We talked about Mortal Kombat 1 a whole bunch, and my thoughts on it because I've been playing the crap out of it. Omni-Man is one of the DLC characters for Mortal Kombat 1. So you can fight as him. And I have not bought the DLC yet.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it, right? I have not bought it yet. But I've seen...
Give them your fucking money.
I know. I almost pre-ordered it because you get Shang Tsung ahead of time if you pre-order it. And I was like $8. It's like, ugh. But the full game of Mortal Kombat 1 is $120 if you get like the exclusive or I'm not buying that. Screw that. But anyway, Omni-Man, I don't know if it's his fatal blow, which are the old X-ray attacks, if you're familiar. Where you'd punch them in the face, like their whole skull would crack, it would show the X-ray vision, right? So now they're called fatal blows, just like in the last one. I don't know if it's his fatal blow or if it's his fatality. I assume it's fatality. But there's apparently some sort of scene from the comics where he holds somebody through a train, where he holds him up.
Yeah, his son.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So perfect. That's the fatality. He holds them up in the fucking the subway station, and they just get torn apart. I have seen this.
If you ever get the chance to watch Invincible, dude, at least watch season 1. Season 2 is actually coming out pretty soon.
Oh, really? Okay, I might have to check it out.
But yeah, watch season 1. It got me into that show or into that series, and yeah, that is one of the most brutal but also craziest scenes from the show, because you see him do this, like he's holding his literal son in front of a train and just letting people die because his son is too strong to die from this. And so, like, imagine a full speed train coming at you, but you are stronger, like you're denser than the train, so it just splits in half as it hits you, and every person inside is dying, running into your body.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's insanity, dude. Crazy thing is, this isn't a spoiler in any sense for Invincible later in the comics or anything, but likewise, you got to assume Omni-Man is still part of the series later into it.
I think they're enemies or something. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and they try to make him like a more likable person at certain points, and I'm like, this man held his son in front of a train. Are we forgetting about this? Like, they make him like a nicer dude in some parts, and like the thing is, they're good at it because I fall for it. Where I'm like, oh yeah, this Omni-Man guy, maybe he's not that bad. And then I remember the moment that he held his son in front of a train and killed everyone inside. Oh. And I'm like, okay, like there's so much collateral damage done, and because the show is like, and the comic is a comic for adults that a kid should not read.
Oh no, the few clips I've seen of this, absolutely not. It's not for kids at all.
No, the first 45 minutes of the first episode, you'd think, oh yeah, a kid could watch this. And then you get to the last 10 minutes of the first episode and you're like, oh, okay, well, my son is scarred for life. I'm laying them down in bed. Absolutely not. Oh. But yeah, so I've been, I think about that all the time. If I'm reading those comics, I'm like, you stop making me like these characters. Because I should not like them at all.
Maybe that's a thing, right? Maybe we need to question our own feelings here, because they do that a lot in movies and TV shows now, where they make a villain, they make them terrible, they do awful things, and then they make you feel for them. They do the same thing for anybody that is into Walking Dead. Everybody knows about Negan, right? The guy with the baseball bat, leather jacket. He's super, he's evil. He's a terrible guy. And then in the end of the show, they make him like this good guy, right? Like, it's like, oh, feel for him. Oh, he's his own trouble. This man murdered so many innocent people for like no reason, bro. It makes me question how we feel about these things. Like, are our feelings just false Do we just not listen to these people? Do they deserve redemption?
It's like I have a toxic relationship with a fictional
that's the thing,
character.
'cause, like, I don't want to like these people, but we do. Like, they're such good characters. And I don't. Maybe it's a writer thing. Maybe if the writer is just skilled enough, they're able to like manipulate us. I have no idea. I don't know what it is that draws that line. But people are so good nowadays at making good people just these gentlemen out of villains. I don't know how they do it, but it's incredible.
Yeah, the crazy thing is they'll make me like really like a fictional character that like murdered tons of people, but I find out there's a rumor about someone that I like on the internet doing something bad, and I'm like, well, they're erased from my life
them
forever.
again.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Like in real life, if someone does something bad, like even remotely bad, I'm like, okay, never gonna see them again, never gonna support them ever again. But then the second that that like a comic book character murders, tens of thousands of people and then turns around and is like, but I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I can give you another chance.
Maybe that's the line. Maybe the line is real or fiction versus nonfiction. Is that maybe if the people, even if they murder 1 million people, if it's fictional, is that okay? Is that what it is? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think it does have to do with like the attachment to it, because you get to delve into their psyche. They try to reason it a little bit. You see the person in real life, like those are real people.
Yeah.
These comic book characters, I didn't have to see any of them, but like, whatever person was on the news that something bad happened to, I'm like, oh, I'll support this victim because they're a real person. And then the fictional characters, I'm like, oh, well, they only killed like 1 million and they're all fake, so it's fine.
Speaking of killing millions of people, have you seen the reaction video that I gave Zach last week of the Cyrax fatality in Mortal Kombat 1?
I did watch it. I was like, what the hell is this?
Apparently, I don't know. You probably didn't get to watch the whole episode or listen to the whole episode last time. The whole
apparently
planet,
dude.
It's a thing, right? So I consider myself like a big Mortal Kombat fan, right? And I've played a whole ton of the games. I always buy the new game, no questions asked, right? Because I want to play the newest one to see how they've readapted the world or what they've changed. Apparently, in Mortal Kombat 3 and 4, don't quote me, it might have been like 3 and 5 or something. That was his thing, as he blew up the world. So they brought back this old fatality he used to do as like a cameo. But it's like, god dang, man, you just killed everybody.
It's a couple grenades.
Cyrax is cool, right? He's definitely someone who's been in the franchise for a long period of time. He's my personal favorite cyborg out of all the cyborgs of the game, because you got Cyrax, you got Sector, and so forth, right? My personal favorite. But like, god dang, man, you're wiping out the whole Mortal Kombat lineup. Everyone from that thing you just did, you didn't
all of
just
Earthrealm
defeat, Kung Lao. You just defeated Kung Lao, you killed Raiden, you killed Liu Kang, you killed Scorpion, because like, everyone's dead. You just killed everybody. If that was the case, if you were going to do that, why did you fight him? Why did you fight that man? Well, you could have just blown up the It doesn't make any sense why he does this. But it's incredible nonetheless. And it feels
it's very
so
funny.
satisfying. Like in some games, you just get like a headshot and you get like the hit marker. It just feels real good. It's like that satisfying sound.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. When you fatality with Cyrax, it's just, that's it. Like it hits just the right way. It's perfect. You feel like you've dominated the other player. There's nothing they can do to defeat you. That's it. You've wiped them off the face of the earth. It's incredible. Love it, love it, love it. But I guess we should probably jump into the actual episode now.
Welcome to Table Talk Friday, our rotating podcast where only two hosts are ever present at one time. My name is Seth Pittman, and I am joined by my best buddy, Andrew Romano. How are you doing today, boy?
Having a great time with some video games, and I'm officially now, Seth. I didn't tell you this. I'm a dad now. I'm a dad. I have.
Oh, you have a dog?
A fish. I have a fish. Yep. No big deal. Now I'm glad you asked. What do you think you name a fish, Seth? What's a good name for a fish?
I think you name it Garrus because he's got to calibrate the fish tank.
That's such a good idea. You see, I wish you had said that prior.
You got to calibrate the filter.
I'll calibrate the filter. Come back to me later. First of all, if my fish said that to me, that'd be insane. But no, I decided on. There was a couple different names in the air. First, I was thinking general. General for a fish is sick, right? I also thought about calling him Dodge.
Okay.
Dodge for short. Department of Justice for long. Just DOJ. I thought that would have been just a great name. But
it's so stupid.
I was thinking, I was looking at this fish and I'm like, this is a cop fish. This is an investigator. Like, this man knows what's up. He's like investigating the tank. He's checking for clues. Like, this is an inquisitive fish if I have ever seen one. So that's where I was getting the vibe from, right? But we did decide on the most incredible fish name, Captain Bubbles for sure, CB. Captain Bolt. So he's definitely my
Okay.
most beloved child. I'm officially dad, so I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be in the
Captain
podcast, to be
Bubbles.
honest. Now that I have parental responsibilities, but it's a good life over here in the in Andrew's domain. So I'm having a great day, Seth. Thanks for asking.
Dude, do you remember whenever I bought a fish tank in college?
What did you have? You had some fish, but you also had like snails. Was it snails or crabs? Snails.
I did. I had snails. I didn't have crabs. But man, that was one of my biggest regrets.
Really?
Buying a
Why?
freaking fish tank in college. Yeah, because I had to take care of
man.
fish now.
I feel it.
Like, I had a whole fish tank in the room that I had to take care of
I
fish,
thought they
and
were
it
like
was
were they
god
your
awful.
fish? I thought they were like community fish. Like everyone took care of them. Oh.
No, they were mine.
Oh.
I had to do everything. And then, obviously I should have to because I bought them on a whim.
Did you just like pass them in the store and you decided? Like, was it just a spur of the moment thing?
No, a little bit of Seth lore here. I was in a toxic
Oh,
relationship
okay.
in college, okay? And she convinced me to buy fish.
Okay, I understand. This was a peer pressure fish buy. I understand.
This was a peer pressure fish buy, and I had to deal with the consequences of that. I waited for the fish to get to eventually. No, I think I had them through all of senior year. I was gonna say till they died off, but no,
You
I
had
had
those
them
fish for a
until
long time,
COVID
man.
started. Yeah, I took
They were
care of
thriving.
those
Every time I
fish
looked
for a
over,
very
they
long
were
time.
thriving. The snails were doing their own thing, like crawling across the glass.
I didn't lose a
That's
single one in
impressive, 'cause
college.
sometimes- especially when
They
you just
all
get
live.
fish on a whim, which I wouldn't recommend to anybody out there. But especially when you get fish on a whim, if you can get all of them to live and to thrive in the tank, that's pretty good. That is impressive handling of fish.
Yeah, thank you. I was a good fish dad.
You'll have to give me some tips, some parenting tips.
So yeah, this week we're going to talk a little bit about our thoughts on D&D's growth, D&D today, and the community surrounding it, because I have noticed just tons of people speaking about D&D in my presence. And as someone who has been thriving in the D&D space for many years, I have a lot of thoughts about this and feelings that I honestly feel like are toxic feelings to have because of just like my
I'm so glad you
perspective
said
on
that, 'cause
D&D,
I
right?
have very similar feelings, and I think
like
I know exactly where you're going with this.
So the first thing I want to say is I was having a conversation, like it was either today or yesterday. I remember I was walking with someone, and they were telling me about their D&D game and how they had rolled negative on their wisdom, so they had like a 9 wisdom, which was super low apparently in their perspective, and then also how luckily since they're a human, they got a +1 in all their stats, and I almost threw up in my mouth,
crazy.
Because they weren't playing Variant Human, and. Because they were like, yeah, I got a +1 in all my stats because I was a human. And it was the craziest thing for me to hear because
No,
I've never
absolutely
played
not.
a regular human, like a base human. Anytime it's always been variant human. And I felt horrible about it because I was like, this man is just enjoying his D&D experience. And here I am, my first thought being, fucking rookie.
Get wrecked, kid.
Like, yeah. And I felt horrible about it because that's something I should recognize in myself, right? Like, I felt superior in this space because I'm very experienced in it. And I was like, man, one, what kind of nerd am I to be worrying about what this guy's doing in his D&D game? And two, like, I don't want to have that feeling. I want to be able to look at him and be like, yeah, nice job. Like, I'm glad you're playing, glad you're experiencing a story outside of this. I am not going to gatekeep you. And obviously we had a great conversation. We just kept talking.
Probably.
But that was an internal feeling that I had, like a little welling up of like superiority, and I was like, no, I can't be like this.
So I'm going to completely agree with you that I too have some not good thoughts about other D&D groups. I'm going to say, and it's not necessarily like about people doing things wrong, like you had mentioned, right? It's like because I love educating people, right? So like if they come to me, I've had actually a number of my friends. Yeah,
my favorite thing is shoving my knowledge in their mouth. I like them to know everything I know.
Way. Oh, the only allowable
and it's
way.
the only way that's allowable.
I love when people, because I have a couple friends that kind of dabble in D&D, or they would love to play more and just haven't had that kind of experience or that opportunity, and so they'll reach out to me and say, hey, I'm playing a game in 3 weeks. It's new to me. This might be like my first or second time playing. I don't have a lot of experience. Will you look over my character sheet? Can you check on my AC? And I'll absolutely love doing that, like looking through their character sheet to make sure everything's okay. Yeah,
This is when you
yeah.
pull out your glasses, your textbook. You're like,
Mhm.
oh,
And where it
absolutely.
gets
Let me
wrong-
get my
no,
pen
when
and
you get something
paper.
wrong, I completely understand. How could you possibly get anything wrong in a 300-page manual? Oh my, that's not the problem. The problem is I have these terrible thoughts about other people's games, and I start to judge people about like how their table operates. And so they'll
Yeah.
tell me like, oh yeah, my DM told us we're gonna be doing this. I'm like, your DM is doing that? Like, oh, I can't believe he would ever do that to you. Like,
Oh, you're
I
leveling
wish
up
that's
mid-session?
wrong. That's
Yuck,
the wrong
yucky,
way. Like,
ew.
and it's such a terrible. I really need to work on it. It's something I could definitely improve on for sure. And I don't know if it's because back in college I remember, and it took us a while to find our group. We've talked about this on the podcast, right? We have
It's not like we've been playing for like 6 years.
exactly. We've been playing for a long period of time, and you had played some games, and your friends played some games, and you probably dabbled a little more than I did because I really jumped into the current group we have now. So you guys probably went through more hardship of finding your niche a little more than I did. But I heard all the horror stories about DMs doing this, and oh, my terrible DM did that. Like, it was terrible, and I'll never DM for him again. People walking out on games, And so I think I have like this very good understanding of what D&D is supposed to be, and that's just not true. It's like there's so many different ways to play, and I feel terrible for judging these people and these tables for these different ways of play. And I think it's something I definitely need to work on, and maybe I don't know, I just need to rewire my brain a little bit, but I definitely do think about it frequently.
So I don't want to toot my own horn, right? I don't want to at all. But I feel like I'm a pretty good DM.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I feel like I'm a pretty good DM. Yeah. So I feel like I'm a pretty good DM, and the bad thing is my players also really think I'm a good DM. And the reason I say that it's a bad thing is because freaking my players want to play a lot, and I get so stressed out because I'm like, okay, I have to run this game this weekend and I got to manage my personal life and I got to learn Chinese. And so I'm like juggling all this stuff. And I really don't want to feel like DMing a game for anybody is a chore,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So like today, some of my players wanted to play and I was like, guys, I got a lot going on today. I can't DM a D&D game as well. Like I can't do everything this weekend because we were supposed to play yesterday, but someone got sick, so we couldn't play. And that's another thing is like I've noticed that there is this huge like welling of excitement. So, yeah, there's like this huge well of excitement for it, and I feel horrible for not having that excitement because I've been playing for so long.
Okay, so are you saying you don't get excited because of the prep?
No, I don't get excited because it's 3 or 4 hours in my personal day.
Gotcha. Okay. No, I see what you're saying.
Like, so this is going to be the segment where I kind of recount what happened last time because I think that I did an amazing job last session doing it in a completely different way than I've run a campaign before. Because we are all in this place for a very limited time, right? We all have really busy lives in the military. So I'm trying to make everything as sandboxy as possible so that way if people can jump in and jump out, like if say someone doesn't graduate, right, and they have to leave and go to a different base, then that's not a big deal. Like we can still continue the game. And or like we can just stop it at any time and it not be a big deal. So, the big thing is I've been trying to make it super sandboxy. So they are in Phandalin right now, the very base starting campaign area for a lot of starter D&D groups. I've studied it enough to where I can kind of just play around with it a little bit. And I'm playing with things from every single starter set.
Nice. Okay.
So from Phandelver, from the Essentials kit, not really Stormwreck Isle all that much, and then also some Storm King stuff. So I've got all this stuff ready to go for them. And I handed them basically breadcrumbs to 5 different quests in the last session. I was like, there was like a board in town that they saw papers for 3 quests on, where they could go around a town and like ask people information about these 3 quests. Also, the town master asked them to do something for him, and then they also had another NPC, that being Felgalos, asked them to do something. And so they had 5 people with 5 different like quests going on in this like Phandalin area, and also the White Dragon attack that is possible in Icespire Peak. It's like a random chance, but I was like, I'm just gonna do it. The Icespire Peak thing is going on at the same time and happened to them, so now they have this to deal with as well. And so it was like, what do you guys want to do, right? And I didn't have any plans for any of these quests. I just kind of know them at a baseline. I was like, what do you guys want to do? And then they decided to go after the the hints at there being an old man somewhere in the woods off to the east, because they were like, we got to get rid of the child diddler.
The child diddler.
Is what they decide. That's what they decided. But along the way, they ran into the breadcrumbs for the orcs that have been in the area around there lately, and they're doing the Wyvern Tour quest from the Phandelver opening. From the starter kit, where basically orcs are kind of like there are orcish tribes in the area. They're gonna deal with that.
Good choice.
And basically, yeah, and it ends up being like this big arena match with a bunch of orcs, which is cool. And so they ended up running into that by chance, because I gave them the option of like, do you guys want to go a little, like hug the mountain a little bit more where you can see there are some campfires off in the distance, or would you rather go off towards the north side, avoiding the campfires through like the valley to get to your destination quicker? And they were like, we see campfires, we handle campfires. And I was like, all right, we're going to do that. And so they tracked down these orcs, which was really cool. And it was kind of one of those moments where I realized, okay, this is what most people are experiencing, right? Like just not necessarily most people, but these are like the starter kits. These are the entry level stuff into D&D, and it's just a bunch of people chaotically having a good time.
Yeah.
Because we try to tell these epics with our group, right? Like I'm telling an epic with you guys right now, all about the theme of sacrifice. And so that's a big deal. This is like an entire like anime to me, what we're doing with our campaign. But what I'm doing with the other group is quite literally what I feel like the experience is for most people in D&D, where we're not telling a giant narrative. These are just a bunch of fucked up weirdos going on an adventure.
Oh, so we're like, so I see what you're saying. Are we the bad guys in D&D? Is our group like the outsiders, and we're just like judging these other people for playing the game that everyone else is playing?
Yeah, because we're playing it like we're freaking Critical Role, right? Like we're a freaking D&D podcast.
I mean, yeah, I'm basically
so we're telling a story. We're telling a story where we expect all the narrative threads to come together by the end. My characters, I don't feel like, or my other players, I don't feel like they have that expectation at all. Like I feel like in their heads they just want to go on some adventures.
Huh. See, like, so I totally see what you're saying. I just haven't been a part of a group like that, because like my two major groups, right, would be you guys and my old campaign that I ran. And I've told you a million times that that campaign was very different from what we do, because like you said, we tell these epic stories, and they come full circle, and sometimes even some of the characters kind of drift through into the next campaigns and things like that. It's very tying all the loose ends off, right? But even my other game that I would say was much more relaxed than the game we have, right? It was a lot more of like everyone hanging out and playing the game. My players, I feel like, still had, and maybe that was me pushing that on them now that I'm thinking about that. I wonder if I was being a bad DM in that sense. I don't know. Because I feel like they had the expectation of the story, and they told me how interested they were to see, like what was going to happen next. But I wonder if maybe I should have just backed up a little bit and just thrown some fun quests in there instead of trying to tell a story.
That's kind of how I felt at the beginning of Storm Kings too, where we had like we had a story going on, but I kind of just gave you guys the options to choose which destinations you wanted to handle first, right? And that eventually looped back into a big story. So yeah, but I feel like you can't, like, you always have to, I don't want to say always, because everybody's got their own way they play at the table, and some people just play one shots and like little adventures back to back. There's just so many different ways to handle it, and I feel bad about judging over the one way I play it.
No, I completely agree. We should go to a D&D counseling class, you and I, Seth. We could do it. Teach us not to be judgmental of D&D.
We D&D Anonymous.
D&D Anonymous, where we literally are just...
I'm in a toxic relationship with my board game.
Oh my God, what a good idea. Maybe that's our big idea, Seth. Maybe we do D&D counseling. We sit down with people and we show them how to play the game. It's basically this podcast, right, where we give tips and tricks, but in-person one-on-ones, like private podcasting. We could do that. That's a good idea. We'll make millions of dollars, probably.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll make tons of money off of that.
No one. So. So yeah, I guess. Oh, I'm gonna say another thing that I'm super. Since we're just critiquing ourselves here, I am judgy about setting selection. I don't know if you have the same thoughts or not.
Oh, okay. Tell me about it.
So now I'm not talking like, starting in Eberron or starting in Dungeons of the Mad Mage kind of a thing, like Underdark sort of a feel, right? I'm talking about when I hear, and this has happened, in the last year or so, when I hear of a friend of mine that's about to start their first game of D&D, right? And I'm like, oh wow, I want to pick their brain. I want to find out what they're about to. This is this is the exciting part of D&D when you're about to be your first time adventurer. You're about to make your first character. Like this is a big deal. This is a big step, right? So like, tell me all about it. Like, what did the DM tell you? What did this like? Oh well, the DM hasn't told us anything, but we're in the Ragnarok setting. I was like, the Ragnarok setting. Like you're not doing something like canon for your first go. Like that's so odd. And like to me, because the way I started D&D is I started in the Forgotten Realms, and I kind of see that as the correct way to play D&D, right? And that's, I mean, even nowadays, if I were to start a new player, and I know you've dabbled in Eberron, I have not dabbled in any different settings beyond my own setting that I have homebrewed, right? Which I still just see as, Forgotten Realms. I'm just making something up for them to play in, right? But I hear about these people that run in like this Viking world where all the classes are tweaked a little bit to like kind of differentiate themselves from 5e. It's borderline 5e, but not really. It's still the same game, but it's like the spells are a little different and they're called different things. It's like why are you picking these different settings for these first time players? Like critiquing the DMs, of course, not the players themselves. They don't have anything to do with this. They just want to play a fun game. But critiquing the DMs, like, why are you picking these weird settings when you haven't even delved into the most basic default 5e setting for these people to play in? You're teaching them a whole totally different thing when they're expecting to play the most, at least in my opinion, the most up-to-date version of Dungeons & Dragons 5e. Like, why are you starting these people these other versions or these other modified settings when you could just start in Forgotten Realms? Do you have similar feelings to that, or no? Is that just me?
I actually don't have similar feelings on that topic. I think that, in general, just play whatever setting your characters are excited or what your players are excited about playing in. Okay. I think that a typical high fantasy is a really good starting point. Because that will kind of get everybody into the game a lot simpler. But if everybody in your group is really into, say, like a more noir type of vibe, more detective-y vibes, then yeah, go with like an Eberron. If everybody is really into like the Midgardian Norse mythology type deal or whatever, go with the Midgard setting. Play around with whichever one sounds the coolest to all your players. But at the same time, you have the most content available to you for Forgotten Realms. So that's going to be your easiest entry point. But I mean, if it's a new group and your DM is super experienced, like whenever I DM'd my Eberron game for my players, even though a lot of them were new, the only reason I did that is because I wanted to change a pace, not necessarily for them. I just wanted something different to do, and they just wanted to play D&D. So we played Eberron for a little bit, and guess what we did? Transitioned to Forgotten Realms because it's so much easier for me.
Well, I think it's actually good that you said that, because what you just mentioned was we played in Eberron because it's something that I wanted to do. I think nowadays, just talking about the actual topic at hand, like how D&D is going nowadays and our thoughts on it, I feel like it's a DM-driven game at this point, which I feel like is probably the way it should be anyway, right? But I think with any other, I think like a video game, right? In video games, for the most part, if you have a good company that's willing to listen to the players, it's a player-led game, right? The company makes a game, people like it, and then as they differentiate or they like certain things in the game, maybe a certain game mode, right? The creators then curate the game to the players, right? So the players are leading how the updates go and the different cosmetics that are being introduced into the game. So in D&D, it really comes down to whatever the DM wants to do. Because if a DM, right, because it takes a special person to DM, right? Not everyone DMs, okay? And that takes them to start the game, not the players, because players can't play D&D. You need someone to run the game. If there's not a DM, it's not going to start. So however the DM wants to run that game is how it's going to go. So nowadays, at least for me, and I imagine yourself, we hear a lot of stories about games starting in drastically different ways, different settings, different modules, different types of feel, environment, ways that you could play, things that are being restricted, things that aren't restricted, right? Or even more homebrew, right? You hear a lot about homebrew nowadays. And it just comes down to it's because it's whatever, if the DM wants to run a game, he's going to run a game and the players are going to play it. So
I also do think that it's a good practice for DMs to mess around with some of their own setting stuff. Maybe it's not even a whole new setting, but like making up their own town or their own city. Because you remember my first campaign I ran was like 12 sessions, and it was all in Snowhaven, which was my own like homemade city and like area of the Forgotten Realms. So I think that's not a bad way to do it at all. Like, hey, there's an emergency off in this section. Like, why don't you guys go handle it as your startup adventure? So yeah, I think that in general, it's crazy to have these toxic feelings about something as simple as D&D, but I do have them. Like, I definitely do have them, and I'm not afraid to admit it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree that they're there, and it's, I'll admit it openly, and it's something I wish I could work on, and I probably will. I told you recently I've been thinking about finding another group that might be able to play in person just to get like my fix. But I'm also like, it makes me worry, right? It's like, man, are they going to be so different from my own group? Or am I so set in my ways that I'm not going to enjoy the table? Like, will I ruin the fun for everybody else? I don't think so. I think I'm a good player enough, and I'm pretty adaptable, and I'm a support player, as I've said a number of times. So I'd like to think that I would still, let everyone have fun at the table for sure. I don't want to be like a bad player by any means. But it does make me wonder, like, is it too difficult to find another group at this point? Like, should I not be looking for more people to play with? Because I want to play more D&D. I want more D&D in my life, But am I willing to go through that whole search? I don't know, because a lot of the DMs nowadays are just so different from what we do today. And I just don't know.
That change in style, like, I remember I told you the first time that I watched Matthew Mercer DM and how, like, I really wanted to adopt his style. And then I watched Brennan Lee Mulligan DM, and I was like, I like this more.
He is very, I don't know who I like more, but Brennan is very good.
I love Matthew Mercer to death. He's probably like my most nostalgic DM to listen to. But the second I heard Brennan Lee Mulligan like do his little, he did the four sessions for Critical Role, and I listened to all 4 of them, and I was like, I love this man's energy, and I don't think I can replicate it.
Wow. No, he does have a very positive, entertaining, charismatic energy to the show.
And he actually taught me something where sometimes now for you guys, I will just not have you make a check if I think your character could already do it. Like, sometimes Oswin will be making a check, and I'm like, this man he's been to hell and back again.
And again.
And is picking up a magic item. I'm not going to have him to cast Detect Magic. I'm not going to have him roll Arcana. I'm just going to tell him whether it's magical or not, because he would know.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a level 19 adventure, a level 19 Artificer, if nothing else. He would know what this magic item does.
Yeah, and so I'll have him, like, examine to get a feel for those things, because I feel like it's an innate thing. And same deal for, like, if a thief is just super good at sleight of hand, I'm not going to have him necessarily, or like with his thieves tools, I'm not necessarily going to have him roll for a DC 10 lock or something like, or like a lock that's simple. I'll have him like explain, hey, do I want to open the lock? Can I? And then I'll probably just have him do it. Like if it's really simple stuff like that for high level adventurers, I've been trying to pull that stuff back. And that's something that I think Brennan does really well, where he kind of, if a character justifiably would know something or know how to do something, he doesn't even make them like think about it. He just explains what the thing is because it makes sense. And I do that a lot now with characters that are advanced in a specific field. But then there's other times where I will have people make checks if it's like just on the cusp. Of what they would know.
I completely agree with that, and I don't know where my balance is, because I honestly haven't DM'd in so long at this point. It's been literally like almost a full year since I've DM'd. I try to do exactly that, where the characters are able to complete what they do, but in the same sense, I want them to roll for things that their characters are good at, because I want them to feel powerful at the table, right? So, like, yeah, the ranger could go hunt something without a check, but in the same sense, I want them to be able to roll that, because that's what their stats are for, right? Their stats are better than everyone else in the party at hunting because they're the hunter. So I want them to be able to roll and be like, yeah, everybody, I got a 27 on survival hunting a deer. Like, I want them to have that moment.
Yeah.
So I think finding a balance of that is really important. Do you think nowadays in D&D today, in the world today, do you think more people are having them roll for everything? Do you think there's more rolls being had, or maybe less?
I think it depends on, everything depends on what the style of DM you have. Like you said, it's a DM-led game. You need a DM willing to play around with the characters, someone who is, what I want to say is on your character's side. You never want a DM that's against you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it just depends on what they're in for. So, like, if the DM really wants to fuck you up, then they might make things pretty hard and have you roll for everything. But also, if they understand, like, whatever story you're trying to tell, whatever style of game you're going for, you just really got to watch the pace for that. And if they understand that, then I think you'll have it a little bit less, but I think a mistake that I made earlier on, like probably in my first couple of years of DMing, was I had everybody roll for pretty much whatever checks they needed to make. And I think a lot of people get into that because that's a big part of the game.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But not everything requires a check.
No, definitely not. And I don't think this is something I've necessarily seen in other groups per se. But I've noticed within myself, to talk about our own judgments and whatnot, where if my DM, I guess it would be specifically you, maybe anyone else I've played for, Zach included, if I'm asked to make a check that I feel is dumb, I'm like, why would I make that check? Like I'm an 18th level wizard. Yeah. Tell me I can't. Or even maybe what I'm saying, and maybe it's a difference between, because we talked about people wanting to tell stories versus people kind of wanting to hang out and just have fun adventures, right? I think if you're having fun adventures, you're probably more likely to make more checks because that's what the fun is. But in games that you or Zach run that are very story driven, right? Maybe we'll make less checks because it's really about the story. Like, yeah, I mean, Zach, he's an artificer. He could do that for sure. Don't bother making that check, right? And I've definitely had those thoughts of like,
yeah,
I don't need to make this check set. I can handle this. Like I don't need to roll this dice.
Yeah. Here. And I feel like that's another thing, whether you're trying to tell like something that does require like everybody's full attention versus just meeting up and playing D&D. Big thing. Something we didn't really do a lot unless we had a big reason to was like, we don't bring like beers and snacks, right? Mm-hmm. To freaking D&D. We don't do that often. If at all. Like every now and then maybe we'll have like a lot of snacks, maybe someone will have a drink or two, but we're all like zoned in because we want to tell the best possible story.
I feel like we used to. Back in college, like, we used to have a lot of snacks going on at the table.
Yeah, snacks are like one thing. But yeah, like a lot of people do just like, hey, we're all gonna hang out, drink, and play D&D tonight. Like that's something that's really hard for me to fathom because like as the DM, I don't feel comfortable being inhibited at all because I want to be. It's my job to entertain like six people. Yeah, no, for sure. So I'm like, okay, I need to be on point tonight. I'm not gonna inhibit myself. But I don't really mind if my players do. But there was one time in college where someone was drinking at the table and they had way too much and they were just the shittiest player the entire night. Like they were just god awful. And I was like, all right, well, this is just how this game is going tonight because he's drunk. Like, there's nothing we can do about it.
I guess the question at that point is, as the DM, do you ask them to leave or do you just let everyone have as much fun as possible? I don't know.
I think you try to have as much fun as possible, or or you end the session if things get too bad. But that is some people's way of playing. And that's another way, like, I don't really judge it because that's like game night. We used to sit around in college and do game night, or we used to sit around in the apartment and do game night. So for some people, like playing D&D casually like that, that's just game night. So I can't really judge it too hard.
I think, and you probably feel the exact same way. I hold D&D to a different standard of games, right? So like, I can sit down and play like a little, sure. No brain shooter real quick. But if I'm playing D&D, I am all in on D&D. I might have like a snack to keep me kind of like awake and whatnot. I do like snacking while I play D&D personally. I feel like I'm like a social eater, drinker kind of guy. Like I drink or I'll eat non-alcoholic, whatever it may be. At the table just to kind of keep me going. Yeah, like some
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. But yeah, I feel like that kind of keeps me going, so I don't have any issues with that. But when I'm playing D&D, I am immersed in D&D. I'm not playing anything else. The only thing I will say that I do that I'm playing while I'm playing D&D is because nowadays we play online and we play kind of late. I will, and I hope no one has ever noticed this. I mean, no one has ever told me, but I do towards the end of our sessions sometimes, like on a Sunday, Saturday night, I do actually eat dinner. I do eat dinner while I'm playing. I do. I'm not sure if anyone's ever noticed. I hope not. But
no, I don't really notice it all. But like, also, I don't mind. We're all so freaking busy right now that if it, I'm gonna say this about you, Chase. If you're listening to this episode, Chase. This is about you. This is about you. The fact that you show up 15 minutes late every week because you have to eat dinner is insane to me. Bring your dinner to your computer, my guy. Like, I hope you're listening to this right now.
We should just call Chase. Like, Chase. Get in Discord right
Chase,
now.
Get in Discord right now.
But no, I completely agree though.
Well, yeah, no, like, I've had plenty of times where like I'm eating a snack or like right before I start DMing, I'm like, popping open whatever caffeine I have. I'm getting a snack or whatever. And I usually don't eat during the session because I need to be focused as the DM. But like if I was playing, I absolutely would.
Yeah, for sure. If it keeps you going, absolutely. And I think it's actually even more. Maybe, do most people snack while they're playing? Is that the vibe that we're getting?
I think that's a big part of it. I think that is a big part
of it. So we have like the snack player, like because I've seen the videos, right? Like what do you call them? The average players of today, or like the most common like stereotypes for players. And they always mention there's one guy that shows up late and brings snacks, but I don't think we've ever had that player at the table.
No, our players just wait until after they're done eating to show up.
Look, I'll do. maybe other people don't feel this way. I don't know. I will do anything to play D&D during that week. Like.
I'll do anything to be on time, but obviously no one respects me.
I think we've gotten a lot better. But I do hear from, and I know that's the running joke, right? Today, I do think that there's a lot of people that are late, or a lot of people that cancel last second, which we don't see a lot of cancellations last second.
Yeah, because they don't care about their battle buddies.
They hate their friends. That must be it. Everyone nowadays is just not friendly enough, Seth. That's the problem.
That's the crazy thing, man. I have a mortal fear of being late. Because and that was one thing, like that's the reason that I only hung out with specific people in college outside of like D&D and stuff, right? Because people were always late and people flaked all the time. 1, I hate people who flake. 2, I hate it when people are late to things, because I am never either of those people. I'm like, hey, I committed to a plan and I'll be there even though I don't want to, or like I'm always at least like 10-15 minutes early because I hate waiting on people. So I would rather wait on someone than you wait on me because I don't want you to hit me.
Completely.
Because I hate waiting on people so much that I will get there early and
here's
suffer.
The thing, and I'm not talking necessarily just about D&D. I hate being early for things. And I know it sounds super weird, and because I think in college they beat it into your head, right? In college it's like, oh, if you're not early, you're late. It's like, I hate that. If my meeting is at 9 a.m. or we're playing D&D at like, I don't know, 10 p.m., whatever it may be, I want to show up at exactly that time. I want people to expect me at as that clock strikes 9 or it's been 9 for like 30 seconds, that's when I show up. D&D is a little different, I guess, because I do like hanging out with the boys, right? So I have no problem coming early and just, shooting shit or talking about, like the newest spells that I've picked. But I have no problem with people that show up perfectly on time. If you're going to show up 10 minutes late, I have a problem with that, right? I don't think you should be late, especially to your D&D sessions.
No, I have a bone to pick with people who show up perfectly on time, all right? Punctuality may be a talent, but I'm a soldier now. Pretty much anytime we do anything, they give us a hit time. You're expected to be there 10 minutes early, and not only that, they're probably starting like calling roll and everything 5 minutes early because they're already there. So if you're told to be there at 8 a.m., you better be there at 7:50 to get in formation, and then at 7:55 they're gonna start.
I can't stand it. If you say no. If you say we're starting at 8, I'm getting there at 8. That's when we start. That's when my time begins.
No, I have always shown up to like everything early. So this is I love that. I'm like, yeah, you guys show up early because I'm here early and we're gonna get everything done way earlier. I'm so down. I have one buddy who's like one of the smartest people I know, and he cannot show up early. Like he's either right on time or late, every single time. And I'm like, he's gotten in trouble so much for it. And I'm like, sucks to suck, my guy. All you gotta do is
okay,
leave
but
it is But some people have that thing. No, some people have that like thing in their brain, right? Where like they know they have to leave right now, but they can't get up. Like, I think some people have told me about it, and I think Chase has had this happen before too, where he's like sitting there watching YouTube or TikTok or something like that, and he knows that if he leaves right now, he would get there right on time. But he still watches
the thing?
Another
You think
one.
people are stuck?
And it's like a thing. Yeah, it's like a thing. Like, I don't know how it works, and I can't comprehend it because that's not how I work. Like, I see it, and I'm like, okay, if I leave in 10 minutes, then I'll be right on time, so I should leave now.
Okay.
Is how I see it. And so how a lot of other people see it, and is from what I understand, it's like, hey, I know I'm supposed to leave right now, and something is stopping me from doing so. But and it's like you can't explain.
See, I've never had that problem, and I didn't realize that's what it was. If that is the case, because I've never had any. Like, if I want to play.
Yeah, this is not psychological advice, by the
No,
way, audience. I don't know
Psychologically,
anything.
I want to play D&D.
I don't know anything.
Right? So like, I will do anything to get there. That's not what holds me up. And back in the day when we played Storm Kings, it was a running joke. I was always 1 minute late. I always was. And I think it was I always, but I was consistent.
1 minute
always.
exactly.
It was always 1 minute. That's just how it was. And I was proud that I was 1 minute late all the time because to me that was like, I'm punctual. I'm getting there when I want to. The problem was I think I just miscalculated my time. And or I am super, and you know this, I am super forgetful of everything in my life. So I will walk out the door 3 times realizing that I forgot something. So I'll brace myself for I know D&D's an hour. I know it's 30 minutes. I know it's 20 minutes. And then at that 10-minute mark, I'm in my brain, I'm like, okay, I have everything I need. But then I sit down to play and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot my dice downstairs. And I'll run downstairs and I'll get my dice, but then I'll drop them. And I'll drop my dice on the floor and I'm rushing and I'll scoop them all up and I'll get back upstairs all right, I'm ready. My handbook. Where's my handbook? And I'll run back downstairs and get it's just, for me, it's forgetfulness. And I don't know if that's the case today for other people or not. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's people just getting stuck in the classic doom scroll or something. I don't know. But
I feel like it might be a doom scroll type deal, an internet addiction someone doesn't know they have or something like that. Or maybe it's just a motivation thing. I'm super driven and motivated, so I jump up and nail it. I jump up and handle it right now.
And you're exceptional. I will give you the credit, Seth. You excel in this skill. I am bad at doing things too far ahead of time. The same way I feel about being early, I don't. Yes, no.
Project is assigned to me. It's done the next day.
Absolutely not. My project will not be late, but that project will be done just in time. Okay, you will never have a problem with me group project wise. Let's say we're working together in college on a group project, right? You will never have the issue where I did not do the work, but I may do the work 5 minutes before, and it will be done exceptionally well, but it'll get done, okay? And you will never see me get that project in 2 weeks early. Absolutely not. I'm not doing that. I'm not picking. No, I can't do it. No.
But if you just do it if you do it within the first couple of days it's assigned, now you have months where everybody's freaking out about getting it done, and you don't have to do it because you already did it.
My attention span does not allow for that. I can't do it.
No, you're going to spend the same amount of time on it either way.
That's where we're different. You can put your attention to something and complete it. My attention gets split. If I am not at a deadline, or I know that I don't need to do something, my brain will be all over the place. It will take me 10 times longer to do that task because I know I don't need to do it. And I'll pick up my phone and I'll text somebody. I'm like, oh, I didn't do that thing from yesterday, or oh, I'll go do the dishes real quick because the sink's kind of full. I will just do everything else that's on my mind. So I need enough focus or enough enough pressure, enough stress.
I think a lot of times whenever I know I want to do something and I have the time set aside for it, I have free access to flow state.
Really?
Sometimes because I've been in it so much from music and everything. Because I'll play a 3-hour show. Back in college, I would play a 3-hour show out somewhere, and it would feel like 15 minutes. I would just start playing, and then 3 hours go by, and there's money in my bucket, and someone's cutting me a check for the night, and then I'm like, all right, see you guys next time. It was it's a 3-hour work shift gone in 15 minutes. So if I know I have a project, right? And I'm like, okay, I've set aside this time on this day to do my project. So in that time, I am going to do it. And so I'll sit down, I'll start the project, and it will be done by the end. And I'll figure out all of the shortcuts to doing it, whether I'm cutting, I'm snipping pictures from online, and pasting them into PowerPoint or something like that. But I had a Chinese music project I had to turn in, recently. And my whole thing, one of the biggest things, I think you and I especially got good at this in college was, setting things up on a presentation with 2 words and then explaining it.
Oh God, I love that.
So because we had a lot of people who were doing their projects who are around my age right now. Everybody's adults, and they're doing a PowerPoint and it's just a paragraph and stuff, and then a picture off to the side, and it's got all this information and Chinese characters and stuff, and I'm like, oh, so you're telling me you don't know this?
No, I completely am on the same page with you, Seth. If you put that much wording up there,
and
first of all, it looks terrible, but also you are telling me that you do not know that.
Yeah, and so I did this Chinese music project where my whole thing was I would show an instrument and I would just have the 2 Chinese characters for the name of the instrument, and I would walk up to the picture and explain everything that instrument does. Mm-hmm. And so that was one of the biggest things for me when doing these projects was you just got to know your stuff. So as long as you take the 20 to 30 minutes to understand it, all you have to do is throw a bunch of pictures on a PowerPoint. And then you're done.
Easy. And they're impressed.
And so
they're impressed by your work.
That's the way yeah, they're impressed because you can speak well. They're not even impressed by you knowing the subject. They're impressed because you entertained everybody. Oh, I'm losing you, Drew. I'm losing you. Where are you at? This could be a great end of the episode. Is Drew cutting out and us having technical difficulties. And we'll just continue whatever's going on in the post show of Table Talk Friday, a D&D podcast. Thank you so much for listening to this episode because I think we had a really insightful talk about our toxic traits in D&D and how we view other games. This has been everything we know about D&D today, as well as a little bit of advice on how to do your presentation. If you're a college student right now and you're working on a presentation, I want no more than 2 words per slide and or enough for you to explain to me what's going on, and you better know your goddamn subject. Other than that, we will see you guys next week. Check out the post show at patreon.com/tabletalkfriday where Good Old Gamer is right now. I forgot to shout that out. Anyways, let's go ahead and have the ultimate presenter take us out. Hey, so I'm going to just talk a little bit today about Ghost energy drinks because that's what I have sitting next to me. The orange cream flavor is actually one of my favorites, and one of my favorite things about Ghost in general is breaking down the label about it because most energy drinks have proprietary blends, which is something that I am really not into when it comes to my energy drinks. Ghost does something really nice on their label. They actually break down every single milligram of what is in this energy drink, something that I respect highly. It's got things like Carnipure carnitine in it, something that's really good for dissolving fat, natural caffeine, which every single label says, taurine, which is really big for the gym, and alpha GPC, which is a nootropic that will help with your brain chemicals and focusing a little bit more. So an energy drink that I respect quite a lot. And if you want to hear more about it, catch me in the post show right after this.